The IEA, in 2015, undertook a study to promote inclusiveness, reduce poverty, and promote sustainable economic development in Ghana. And based on the background study we undertook, we realized that although women constitute over 51% of our society, they were the most marginalized in economic development in Ghana.
Work is second nature to Ghanaian women. Wherever they are, they've learned since their childhood days as girl children, young and adult women, there are specific activities that are assigned to them as women's work. From the household, the community, the wider economy, the Ghanaian woman's work is never done. The work women do, particularly in northern Ghana, cannot be overemphasized. They can be found in all sectors of the economy. In the informal sector, they act as farmers, traders, or homemakers. In the formal sector, as teachers, nurses, or office executives.
As a culture, and that's the way that we are brought up, generally women are more of caregivers. Be at home and take care of the family needs in terms of feeding, in terms of sanitation, in terms of those who are sick and the elderly. So that takes a very strong part of what women are supposed to be doing.
Every home or every economy, women are usually the spine, because almost every sector you go, you find women there. Especially the informal sector, they are the majority. Think of farming, weaving, tailoring, and they are mostly the breadwinners of the families.
We use the money to help our children in school. That's one important. We use it to buy ingredients to help our husbands for cooking and other household petty things. We can use it to help.
To be very honest with you, the women does almost everything in the family. Apart from feeding the children, the women take care of the children, even in education.
And yet you can see that the work that women do in these areas have not been so valued.
We call them housewives. That's the main role of women in this area.
Most of the women are not educated, so they don't have employable skills whereby they can seek government employment. A lot of them are into business ventures.
Despite the important role of women as economic actors in the northern part of Ghana, they remain among the poorest in the country.
We settled on the 3 northern regions because those regions are amongst the regions that are the most deprived and underdeveloped. And women there were faced with a number of barriers, serious constraints that impeded their participation in economic activity.
Women are marginalized and their potential is inhibited by several socio-cultural and economic factors. These factors can be linked to certain cultural practices prevalent in the northern regions of Ghana.
Some of the cultural rights are widowhood rights, female genital mutilation, and these things also affect them economically. For example, if you happen to lose a husband and you have some economic activity, it means it can take you more than 1 year before you can go back to that your economic activity, because you might have been playing some cultural rights in the funeral house, either as a widow or helping the family to carry certain things because of the funeral.
During my Pitobioran days, I had lots of customers, but after my husband died and I went through the rituals for almost a year, I realized I had lost most of my customers because of the perception people generated about me. So I lost courage and stopped the business.
Some women are accused of witchcraft and are sometimes brutalized and beaten. They usually flee to witch camps in order to avoid being lynched. Such camps can be found in Bunyasi, Gambaga, Nyani, Patinga, Kukuo, and Nabuli, all in northern Ghana.
Back home in my community, when someone was sick, they pointed fingers at me as the cause. This happened severally, so I decided to leave. Before then, I was farming, brewing pito, and selling millet. Many times, I doubled or tripled the profits. People really appreciated my business. But now, everything has just fallen apart just because some people got up and labeled me as a witch.
Immediately, that woman is banished away from your community. The little that she was eating, the little what she was depending, everything is destroyed. She will come here and start afresh. And even coming here is a difficult thing because you have left your family, you are now in a new place. Thinking about the thing they have tacked, they tack on you. A witch. How do you even sleep?
Early and forced marriages also hinder the economic prospects of women in the northern part of Ghana. The prevalence rates of early and forced marriages in Ghana showed that the Upper East region had the highest at 50%, followed by the Upper West with 39% and Northern with 36%.
I was 16 years when I got married off, so I could not complete school. I don't have any work to help me take care of myself and my family.
If a man is there in a family and he cannot take care of the house, he thinks that the daughter should go and marry for he, the man, to make money. And you know something, one funny thing about us here is that when your daughter goes to marry, you are being paid 4 cows. That is the tradition. So people use that as an advantage to enrich themselves and they are gone. It affects economical growth because people will not go to school. If your daughter is up to 12 years, 18 years, and you think she should advance in school and she's given out for marriage, how does that help?
It is abominable for a man to be seen performing household chores or helping his wife to perform some household duties considered as women's work.
They don't support women, that's why. But we do complain to them. But they say we should do it. It's our work.
Well, that is, our traditional setup. Generally, a man is not supposed to be doing the perceived work of women, like cooking or washing of children, or even washing dishes in the house. It's unheard of for a man to do that.
If you are found doing women activities, they look at you as a woman man or somebody who has no work to do. Because when men are outside doing things, then you will be found in the house helping your wife to do things. That's why they say if you cannot have one wife, they marry 2 wives to enable the women to do lesser work in the house.
I went to get firewood for my wife to cook and fell down from the tree in an attempt. The villagers said I was following my wife like a dog, and so I deserved it. Because of that, they refused to help me. They are always laughing at me.
It's ignorance. And just what I said about the culture, the religion, and the socialization. Some people right from day one, they don't know that a woman is important. And even, I'm telling you, referring you back to the classroom, there were some boys that could not even come nearer to us in terms of academic. But in the community, they don't see your importance.
In certain cultures, it is generally unacceptable for women to be leaders. Women who put themselves up for leadership positions are perceived to be disrespectful.
Men, they don't agree women to be leaders. So from that place, they don't support the women to go higher so that they will challenge them with the leader side. That's another problem.
They don't take decisions with you as a woman. If there's a problem in the house, whether even the clan or even the community, the men will sit down and decide what to do. I just have to tell you that this is what will be done.
Because you are a woman, they feel you are not their colleague. Therefore, they don't see why a woman should be their leader.
They're not supposed to play active politics because their husband will not allow them. Because they don't want them to be heard speaking in public.
Women are not allowed to own land. The patriarchal nature of these societies prohibits women from inheriting land and other property.
Ladies do not own land. You have to go and plead. Either you may even be giving or not. Even let's even assume that you have been giving. Can you afford the money for the tractor to plow the land? If you can't afford fertilizer, neither can you afford sowing and the weeding. So it's a problem.
A woman cannot just get up and go and buy a piece of land to farm. Your man has to take the lead to look for the land for you because you are his property.
Access to credit is another inhibiting factor. Because they're poor, they have no collateral to enable them secure enough capital for their businesses.
If you are going to collect a loan, they ask you whether you have got a goat or sheep or a teller, or you have got a store. And we don't have any store, we don't have any teller, we don't have any sheep or goat.
And because of the control of the husband, they are not supposed to be in groups. Sometimes if they are in groups, they can't access loans. Sometimes if they are accessing loans, the husband must give approval. And this will affect them economically.
Even though you as a lady are going to pay for that money, but if your husband is not agreed, that thing can let misunderstanding between you and your husband.
Government policies have also generally failed to address the many barriers women face as economic actors.
There are quite a number of policies, but the question is, are they being implemented as they are supposed to?
Generally, sometimes when you look at our policy systems, what they have in Ghana, it's like we are forcing to pretend that we are not in a very gendered society. We are pretending that the grounds are laid, everyone has access to opportunity. But the truth is that people have different access based on their situation and also based on the gender issues. So our policies generally are very gender blind. They don't recognize the differences between women and men, especially when it comes to economic activity.
One policy is about the mass lock, medium and small scale loans that government has instituted. This loan scheme or microcredit scheme has been designed to boost women's economic activities. But if you look at how that project is being administered, it doesn't actually favor most women. And the reason is that they don't actually come at the time that the women will be needing this kind of facility. And also it doesn't affect many women, just a few. They want women to be in groups, a group of 50, a group of 25, and they give tokens. If a group of 25 or 50 is given 5,000 Ghana cedis, how much are they able to share among themselves so that it can boost them economically?
As a formal sector worker, you have 3 months when you deliver to go home and then take care of your child. My situation, for instance, as a teacher, you can't send your child to school after that 3 months. You are either supposed to get somebody a distance away from where your school is. When it's break time, you go and breastfeed this child and come back. But the child is just 3 months. The immune system is not so strong as to withstand any disease. The child has to breastfeed exclusively for 6 months. And you are not expected to carry this child into your classroom. But if the director of education or any officer comes and then meets you with this child in the class, you would have an issue.
If you also look at the National Health Insurance Scheme, women are paying premium as equal as the men. And as a result of their low income status, they are not able to access it as compared to men.
Clearly, for these women, their continued ability to confront economic hardships is itself a pointer to their sense of accomplishment as critical economic actors. If economic policies provide more and better incomes for women, that would be a major entry point for enhancing their voices and amplifying their contributions as economic actors.
Like some other great figure in Ghana once said, if you train a woman, you are training a nation. But if you train a man, most of it, you are just training the single person. So women multiplying effects in socio-economic living of the family or the community is higher.
Women know how to manage. You give them a small amount of thing like this, before you realize it becomes big money. So I think the government could make some policy, target our women. The economy of the country could have been transformed.
The government and then some non-governmental organizations and civil society organizations that think that they can be of help should try getting financial assistance to these women in the informal sector, but with low interest rates, and then the issue of the guarantors and whatnot taken out of it so that a lot more of them can access these loans.
A lot of support in this aspect of grants to be given to women, and that sensitization of men to look at women as their partners, not as their subjects.
If you bring a policy without the people being sensitized and they refuse to change attitude, the policy is not going to work. So what is needed here is just mass education, sensitization, the need for the public to understand that if a woman is economically engaged, she's not going to benefit alone.
Women's voice should be heard. Women should be allowed to make their inputs so that it will inform policy decisions in the country.
In the past, we have seeing women's work mainly as supplementary to that of the wider economy. But women have demonstrated through their hard work that they also play a big role in the marketing of food and other produce of this country. Going forward, we want to see women as playing an important role in the decision-making processes of the economy and to be able to also harness the benefits of their labor in the economic sphere.
Tikawasi